Hello, my viewers. Welcome back to the episode of the Arsenal Live. In today's video, by the title, you know what this video's about. We're discussing the Diontae Johnson contract rumors. All the rumors, people have been saying that Diontae Johnson want money from 20 million to 25 million. Somebody said 30 million, something like that. So he wants a big contract, that elite receiver money. And a lot of people have been on one side saying that he should get that money, and some people have been on the other side saying that he should not get that money. We should trade him or something like that. Trade him for some draft picks or something. So some people have been in the middle. I've been in the middle. I've been like, I don't know. I always thought that the more the better. The more receivers you got out there, the better. 'Cause especially nowadays with the way the NFL is kind of changing. You put a gunslinging quarterback out there with those receivers. A lot of weapons out there, and just let them go to work. So I feel like the more the better. So I'm kind of in the middle, but also not overpaying somebody, because you've seen what happened in the past with Steelers do this before, and stuff like never turn out right, and the Steelers never really like pay receivers, but they pay Antonio Brown, of course. Antonio Brown's freaking one of the best receivers, if not the best. Probably the most talented receiver to put Steelers uniform, because Hans Ward got some better numbers, but Antonio Brown is probably the most talented receiver to put on Steelers uniforms, because yeah, like he's way more talented. He's one of the most talented by probably a big margin as well. And then guys like Hans Ward got paid, but some guys didn't get paid. Guys like Santonio Holmes, guys like Emmanuel Sanders. Not only Mike Wallace didn't get paid either. I don't think. I think like that's when he left and went to the Dolphins, right? So some guys didn't get paid like that. Remember, we had Jericho Cotchery, Martavis Brown messed myself up a little bit, and then Juju Smith-Schuster didn't get it either. So we're gonna just break down and go through some of the stuff. Since Diontae Johnson got drafted, I have the stuff right here on my board. He's been 9th in receptions. He was 7th in targets. He was 22nd in receiving yards. And his career stats, he's one of those receiving yards was 2,764 yards, 254 receptions, 20 reception touchdowns, 405 targets. And that's been his numbers, which is pretty good numbers. So he's 9th in receptions, he's 7th in targets, and he's 22nd in receiving yards since he's been drafted. Like that's the whole entire, not his draft class, but the entirety of the league. So that's pretty good. He's 22nd. That means he's one of the best receivers. That means he's top 25 receiver in the league. It's 32 teams, of course. So that means he's like one. He's up there. But like that's still not the top elite standard. So I'm doing counter arguments for both sides. So I'm gonna start on the left side of people that don't. On the right side, people that don't want him here. So they can probably say that. They probably can say that he hasn't been like productive enough to be like get paid that elite money. Putting at the elite stats that you see some of these other receivers put up, in their first 3 years, like Justin Jefferson and some guys like that. DK Metcalf, he has some injury problems too, but he not putting up numbers like those guys who put up some numbers who are part of his draft class as well. But then the counter argument, you can say like guys like Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk got like 18, 19 million a year. And Diontae Johnson is watched Christian Kirk. He watched him out in stats and numbers. And Diontae Johnson also, his first 3 years is better than Antonio Brown first 3 years. But Antonio Brown didn't start. He was an official starter his first 3 years too. But his first 3 years is better than Antonio Brown first years. His first 3 years is on par with It might be better. It might be a little better than Juju first 3 years. So yeah. So Diontae Johnson, he has a case. The money he asking for, but Antonio Brown, when he became a starter, he did put on some crazy numbers. He got more yards than Diontae Johnson. He had in less games and less targets. Diontae Johnson do get a lot of targets. And then some people brought up the argument that he played with Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph, and declining Big Ben. Yeah, that's true. He played with Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph in like the first I think his first year, because Big Ben got injured at the game in Seattle, and then Diontae Johnson came out there and he made a big catch. Where he like caught it, like Mason Rudolph threw a ball on the side. He like caught it. It was a basic catch, and then he made some good plays here and there. The Cardinal game was probably his best game. We had the punt return. He had the touchdown he caught on the side, and that little play he had where he caught from the right side of the field and just took it to the other side at the first down. So he was going crazy. He made an All-Pro team too, I believe, as a returner his rookie year, which is very good for a rookie. He was going crazy. But you look at other guys' key situations, like a guy in his draft class, Terry McLaurin, who has more yards, significantly more yards than him, about a couple hundred more yards than him. I think 300 or 400 more yards than him, and then he also has less receptions. He has less touchdowns by a little bit. They're kind of on the same part of that, and then he has far less targets. not far less targets, but like he got like almost like 50 less targets really. So like Terry McLaurin still put up more yards, and Terry McLaurin had Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace. But the Haskins was not playing well, with the Washington football team. And then he had Taylor Heineke, who was a guy who was out the league, came back into the league, and then he was playing with that guy. He was still putting up better numbers. And then you look at a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, who played his first. You look at his first 3 years coming to the league. He played with like what was it, Mac Schaub on the last year he was there with the Texans. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Brian Hoyer, Ryan Mallett, Brandon Whedon, T.J. Yates. He played against all different type of quarterbacks, and he still put great numbers. And he made a Pro Bowl, not as a placement. He made a Pro Bowl as the Pro Bowl. And then he has his numbers just washed out. The other numbers too, like that. It's like it's just like you can look at it both ways like that. But you also can look at it like the way the market is too. The way the market is, the Diontae Johnson asking price is like is not like far fetched from what the market is. And like you see other guys who get paid, you be like, well, he's kind of our best. He's our best guy. He made a Pro Bowl last year, 100-some catches. Especially if he does it again this year. I don't think Steelers gonna do a contract before the season start, but I think they probably gonna wait till after the season. If you do it again this year, they have no choice. They have no choice but to get him. But another counter to that is if George Pickens outperforms him. Let's say for instance George Pickens outperformed Diontae, he had like more receiving yards and more touchdowns or something like that. He's like more productive than Diontae Johnson with the targets he get. They might be willing to let him walk. You know the words of Mike Tomlin: "We'll tolerate you till we can replace you." You seen it before with Antonio Brown. You seen it before with Mike Wallace. You seen it with Antonio Brown. Remember Emmanuel Sanders. When he can get paid, Antonio Brown took over to the reign and stuff like that. You seen it with Juju Smith-Schuster, Martavis Bryant, and all that stuff like that. And you just see guys like the Steelers like, you just find another guy. And if George Pickens emerged as the number one guy, because he has the physical intangibles, and based on what we've been hearing about him in OTAs and like you see about him in college and that fire he played with, I think he's gonna have a great year. That's one Steeler I feel like we're gonna have a great year. We know T.J. Watt and Cam Hayward's gonna have great years. Of course, they're gonna have great years, but like one of the young guys, I feel like it's gonna be George Pickens for sure. But if Claypool or Calvin Austin also has a good productive year, not more productive than Jesse Johnson, but they have a good productive year too, you could see the Steelers be like, you know what, we can go cheaper route. The Steelers do go cheaper routes a lot of times. They can go cheaper route and they can just say, we ain't got to pay Jesse Johnson his money. We can just go on and we can just let him walk like that. But in my opinion, I think the more you got, the better it is. Like if you got Jesse Johnson with George Pickens, with Claypool, and then Calvin Austin, Miles Boykin, all those guys, it's better for the team. The more the better. You have three of those guys. It's better than having missing one. So I feel like the Steelers will probably figure a way out to like bring Jesse Johnson in to give him a contract. I don't think a contract gonna happen though until like after next season. I think they want like one more year of like productivity to see if it's like a sustainable level for him. And then once they see that, then they probably will give him the contract. Now if that 1 year he had all them drops, and like say he dropped like at least 10 less. I think he had 16 drops that year. If he only had like 6 drops that year, 6 or 7, he would have had 1,000 yards again. It would have been back-to-back 1,000 yards a year. He might be getting paid this year, but that year he had like that. But I like that Jesse Johnson did improve. You look at his numbers every year, from his first year to his second year to his third year, they all like jump. It's not like small jumps, it's big jumps. From like going from like 400, 500 yards his rookie year to like 900 something yards, and then from 900 something yards to like 1,200 something yards his third year. So it's like some big jumps. So like maybe he kind of is like leaning towards like that contract to get that big time contract, because he is a nice piece for his team. And it's at a certain point in the season, he was like one of our best target guys too, like for a good stretch. Remember that game against the Ravens? He was unguardable. The Ravens could not stop him. The game when it came down to the last play on the two-point conversion, they cannot stop him. So maybe Jesse Johnson does deserve that contract. I don't really like talking about people's money like that, but I'm just going based off like I'm just talking about the rumors and stuff like that. I don't know what the price would be. I'm not the contract guy, like the salaries and stuff. I don't know what it be, but I feel like Diontae Johnson should be with the team. Stay with the team. We should try to everything in our power to keep him, as a Pittsburgh Steeler, because having a guy like that, they'll just grow on trees. Talented guys, especially you get a guy like that from the third or fourth round from Toledo, and he's just playing like that and balling out. So yeah, I see no reason why you can't bring him back. But if you guys think otherwise, leave in the comment section. But I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.